Toady tip number 1, always lick your owner's feet and then start chewing on them at 5 in the morning if you want to get them up. Right, Toady? Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Joel Parker and this is Whiteboard Wednesday. Listen, today we're talking about scribe up and get home early. Whoa, what a concept. So listen, what you may not know, that at the moment there are upwards of 3,000 to 3,500 veterinarians that are retiring every year. And so if you thought that it was difficult to find an associate doctor now, let's go ahead another couple years. Here's the other problem. These 3,000, 3,500 veterinarians are retiring. Many of them are doing anywhere from 1.5 to 2.0 full-time equivalents. So they're going to require upwards of 4,500 or 5,000 veterinarians to fill their shoes. So we have this immense problem right now with a shortage of doctors, and this problem is going to continue. So this is where everybody, you've got to look at Albert Einstein's famous quote, right? Which was, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So we're going to have to break the mold here. We're going to have to break the paradigm. We're going to have to shift. Now, the typical mold, the typical style that we've got going on right now is that there's one veterinarian with 2 front admin staff and 2 back tech staff. That ratio of 1 to 4. Now, these are full-time equivalents, right? So you got to break everything down. You got to total up all your front-end staff hours, including all the bookkeepers and accountants and all that kind of stuff, and all the back-end people, including the techs and the kennel kids and all that kind of stuff, and divide by 40, you got to work this out on full-time equivalents. So the typical ratio is being 1 to 4, 1 DVM for 2 front people, 2 back people. And the problem is, this is reliant on that 20-30 minute exam that we've traditionally done and so forth, where we're going in and we're discussing with the clients for 5 minutes, kind of that, how are they doing, that chit-chat 101. Then we're examining the patient, we're coming up with a tentative diagnosis, and then coming up with a treatment plan, a patient care plan, and then we're going ahead and working with the client to agree to do that. That can take 20 to 30 minutes. But the problem is, if we're short on DVMs, and we've got double the amount of work for 1 DVM. Like, let's say you're a 2 or 3 doctor practice and you're down to 1 DVM, you're going to have to change the model. And the model is this, and that is to start forming, like Wonder Woman did with Wonder Girl or Batman with Robin, is that you've got a sidekick scribe that is working with you in each exam room, that is all, that you're doing a verbal medical exam and the scribe is copying things down. And typically iPads or tablets work really good on this because they're soft, right? You don't hear the clicky clacking of the keys, while they're kind of in the background with you and the client in the exam room. So typically the new model is that you can double your visits to clients. You're going to be spending maybe 5 or 10 minutes with them, coming up with a patient care plan, and then exiting stage left to go on to the next exam room while your scribe finishes the notes and while your other assistant is helping get the patient off the table and going ahead and printing off the estimate and things like that. Okay, guys, so if you can do that, not only can you do more work, but there's going to be no medical records left at the end of the day that you've got to spend 2 hours finishing up. They're all going to be done. You might have to tidy them up a little bit looking at the assessment and the plan, but all the data is going to be in there because your Wonder Girl, your Robin, if you're Batman, has done all the scribing. Remember that. Batman drove the Batmobile, which was fun to do, but he didn't do the billing of Commissioner Gordon, right? Okay, good. So here's our action steps. Pick your scribe. It's got to be somebody that can type, right? And somebody that kind of has got a reasonably good handle on medical terminology. But there's courses for that. There's tons of courses you can put people through. Secondly, work out the play. How is this going to work? Typically, they would go into the exam room first. They would do the TPR. They would do the check the signalment. Why are you here? They take a little history, any vomiting, diarrhea, coughing, sneezing. They would get a lot of that stuff done. And then you come in. You're going to do your exam. You're going to do your tentative diagnosis and your patient care plan, and then exit out while they finish up. And then you're going to practice that. When you practice, when times are slow, maybe a quick staff meeting of 10 minutes long to chit chat, and then get into drilling some of this stuff. And then everybody, once you've got your first scribe worked out, that it is functioning, that they're getting a good handle on the medical records, they're actually assisting you, they're creating more time for you, then you can double it up, right? So now you've got 2 scribes, and you've got then a team of a scribe and an assistant that are in each exam room where you're going back and forth. Okay, everybody? So scribe up, get home early, see your family, see your kids go to bed before you get home. Oftentimes people are working so many hours now, staying late, especially with the COVID-19 and all this extra time that's gone on, in terms of working with patients and so forth, the drop off, the pickup, all that kind of stuff, that you want to see how you can speed things up and use your staff so that you can make sure you get home before your kids go to bed. Or you get home to ride your horse, go home to drive your motorcycle, whatever you like to do, guys. Okay, that's all I got for you this week. Thank you so much for watching Whiteboard Wednesdays. Don't forget to click down below on the link to our Champion Private Practice Ownership series of webinars on how to find really good DVMs, the secret of setting fees. And if you're interested in analyzing and looking at profit loss statements, looking at selling your practice or buying your practice, then make sure to sign up for the free webinar, the live webinar with myself called What the Heck is EBITDA? EBITDA is this acronym for earnings before interest, interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Okay, guys, that's all I got. Thank you to our photographer, Shanae, and we'll see you next week.